All right. Hello, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I want to try to get through this stuff as quickly as possible and then answer any questions that you guys might have. So, the first thing I wanted to start off with was thank goodness it is September. August was, it's over. It's over. That's all I'm going to say. But I did want to start off by sharing. Um, Kind of an insight, a personal insight I had this last week of August. And I kind of touched on it in our Team Cup thread a little bit. And so I want to just elaborate a little bit on that. But, I've been coaching and doing this for over 5 years. And it always from day one, it has been where I've had my checklist, my tracker, my business activity tracker, whatever you want to call it. I've always had that list. And every day I have just always at least checked off as many boxes as possible. Some days that was one, some days that was 10. Like it has always been ingrained in my brain to do that. There's never been a day where I'm like, I'm just not going to do anything today. But in August, I noticed that I was doing all the things, I was checking all the boxes, but there wasn't a lot of energy and there wasn't a lot of like gusto behind it. And I was working from a plan and I was, but there just wasn't a personal energy behind it. And all of a sudden, like this time last week, I was like, holy crap, it's the last week of August. I am nowhere near where I wanted to be in terms of Success Club points and new coaches and et cetera, et cetera. And so I kind of had like an, oh crap, like I got to get my crap together. So I took Tuesday night when we had our power hour, I took Wednesday and I made a mass follow up list. I pulled all the lists that I had created from like April and May and June and July. And Thursday, mainly Thursday, a little bit on Friday, but mainly Thursday, all I did was send mass follow ups. Like I was like, hey, I mean, I can share with you exactly what I said, but I just did a mass follow up. And one thing that I've tried to do is I get questions a lot like, what should I say when somebody likes my post? What should I say when they view my story? What should I do when they vote on my poll? What I want to encourage you to do and what I've been trying to do is when I sit down like to do this follow up, I sat down like and in my head when I typed out the first one, I thought, okay, imagine that I'm sitting across from my sister, from my friend, from my mom. Like I'm sitting across from them at the coffee shop. How would I explain what I'm inviting them to, what I'm following up with them? This new product, like how would I explain that to them? And I literally sit there and I say it out loud and I type it, and that's what I use. And that when I do that, it is so effective because it's coming from me and it's truly what I would say. So I did a mass follow up on Thursday, and then this is not something I typically do, but I'm realizing that I probably should maybe start doing a little bit more. But so I did all of those follow ups until like 1 o'clock on Thursday. And then I didn't do anything for a little while. And then when I went at that 3 o'clock, look at your James on. Yeah, in a couple minutes. Go. When I did all those follow ups and I waited a little while, oh, um, it's okay. I waited a little while and then I went back through and only responded to the messages that people were interested. So normally I will just wait until like the next day or a couple hours later or whatever. But I was stop, please. I was very, very intentional. I said, okay, like normally I just open my messenger during business hours, but I was very intentional of quickly looking and seeing, oh, Mary wants more information. Okay, cool. I'm gonna message her back really quick. And so I was very, very intentional about continuing those conversations and keeping them going. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I had a couple people sign up, and I have a lot of people through the pipeline today and this week that are signing up because I was just super intentional and diligent with those follow ups. So I did this a lot in July as well. I was very, very intentional. Like every 24 hours, I was following up with somebody that wanted information. And then in the beginning of August, beginning of August, I didn't do that. I don't know why, but all of a sudden last week, I'm like, wow, look at what happens when I'm very intentional about following up with somebody and continuing the conversation, and not waiting to get back to them, like just being very intentional with that. So I wanted to share that with you. And I've started going back to, stop. If you want to sit here, that's fine. We can talk. I've started going back to, like, here's my tracker. Okay, go find your dad. Like, here's my tracker. And as soon as somebody wants information, I'm writing their name down. I used to just kind of screenshot them and then put them on a list on my computer. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to get back to basics, and I'm writing their name down, and I'm seeing them, and I'm like putting it out there to the universe that, you know, they want information. So we're going to keep talking, and, you know, all those kind of things. So I just wanted to share that I think one thing that will really help going into September is being extremely intentional. And so I'm still inviting strictly from my story views and who's liking my posts. So that's forcing me to have content on my stories, on my posts, that's worth people wanting to engage with. And then as soon as they want more information, I'm giving them a gist of information and just continuing the conversation, talking about goals, sharing the nutrition portion. I'm like really leaning into that, because starting now, I think next week, they're getting, no matter, even if they don't do MBF, which I don't know why people wouldn't, but they get the nutrition plans with all the challenge packs. So I'm leading heavy with that nutrition piece, and just kind of meeting people where they're at. I have had a few people that are like, well, MBF looks too intense. I need something lower intensity. So then I'm just directing the conversation that way. And I'm like, well, you have 50 different programs to choose from. We'll find one that works for you. But I've been sending them bar. If they're telling me they want low intensity, I'm sending them a clip of bar, and I'm saying, check this out, see what you think. Same thing, somebody didn't have equipment, so I was trying to think of a program that would be good for them to do, sending them a clip. I have a very good turnover, or a lot of people interested when I send them the clips, because I think then they can see it. I've been sending a 2B Mindset clip. If you're an Ultimate Portion Fix person, send them a clip of Ultimate Portion Fix and say, this is what I do for my nutrition. What do you think? Do you like that as well? So I will share, once I get these message pods going tomorrow, I will share what my conversation flow looks like, and what I'm saying to people in terms of, like, I send them like, thanks for watching my story, da 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 da, would you like information? Yes, I would. And then I'll send you what that conversation flow looks like. But again, I created that back in July because I was talking to somebody across from me. So it will not work if you take what I'm saying and you do it, because you probably don't talk like me, or it's just different, right? You can feel that. But if you look at what I'm saying and you're like, okay, you read it a couple times and then you make your own up, or you talk like how you would yourself, you're going to have a better success rate by talking that. But I'll give you that as an example for sure. Okay, so I wanted to lead with that. And now I'm trying to remember everything else I put in the thread. I know I wanted to talk about September. September planning Coach Pods. Okay, Coach Pods first. I am going to set these up tomorrow. I started my list today and then just didn't get around to finishing it. But as of right now, I'm going to start three different pods. I'll keep our team thread open, but I'm going to post a lot in our team page on Facebook, and basically on the team page on Facebook is going to be different recognition stuff, and then the calls, like when the team. Yeah, that's fine. Just go sit out there. I just have a few more minutes, okay? Okay, sounds good. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna have the team thread, which I'll just do the same thing, kind of like now, or if there's any announcements, and in the Facebook group as well, for just recognition, information on calls. I'm gonna start sharing as soon as I get the links, the recordings of the Dream Team calls, all that good stuff. And then the 3 pods, the first one's gonna be for new coaches. So I'm actually gonna start, I'll talk about that when I get to the September plan, but there'll be a pod for new coaches. So even if you've been, last month was your first month, but you didn't hit Success Club or you aren't Emerald yet, I'm going to keep you in that new coach pod. And then the second one will be Emerald. So you have to be an Emerald coach or have hit Success Club in August. There's a few that have hit Success Club before, have been Emerald before. I'm going to move you into the Emerald pod because I think you're kind of at that in-between point. So we'll have coaches, Emerald, and then eventually the focus in the Emerald pod is looking at kind of where you want your business to go, like what you really want to accomplish, what you like September, October, November, like 4 months, like what do you want to happen? What do you your vision? Like what are your goals? And then if hitting diamond and increasing your income are some of those goals on there, I have a diamond roadmap that we're going to work through. And then as soon as you get to 3 and 3, then we're going to move you into the almost diamond pod, and we're going to work a little bit more closely on like recruiting and getting your new coaches started and kind of making that jump from being just a coach in and out, and then to dive into that leadership to like having a team and really seeing income grow. So those are the 3 pods I'm going to set up tomorrow and get you guys in there. And then I'll share that conversation flow. If you're in the Emerald, I'll share the diamond roadmap type of thing. And then the new coach pod, we're going to dive in every group, every pod. Kind of what I'm envisioning happening is every pod is you're going to share your tracker. We did that for the August Team Cup, and I don't know. I don't know if it was good or not, but for me, I think for me to help you, I have to see what you're doing. So many times I think coaches feel like they're struggling or they're not, like all these things. And then as soon as I say, show me your tracker, they're like, oh, like all of those moving pieces have to work together. So I want to help and I want to encourage and I want to give that tough love and to help you move to your next level. But the tracker doesn't lie. The tracker shows if you are, and some of it too, like I was saying in August, for me, it was that energy. Like I checked off all the boxes on that tracker every day, but my energy and my intentions weren't there behind it. So even if you are checking off all the boxes, that still tells me, okay, there's something missing if you're not hitting Success Club, if you're not seeing an increase in your income and people you're bringing in, even if you are checking off all the boxes. So it's not to make you feel bad for not getting stuff done. It's just also a gut check. I know some of you need that. Like you need that, like, oh crap, they got all their tracker stuff done and I didn't, type of thing. So every group will be required to share their tracker. One other thing I want to start doing is when you post on Instagram or Facebook or both, in that thread, pop in there and say post up or post or I posted or whatever. And then we can go, the people that are in that thread can go to your page and like and comment. I think that's one thing I've noticed with a few other coaches that I've been talking with about pods. That's one thing they do. And when I go to their pages and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like 20 comments. How? A lot of that is the coaches in that pod. Like I would post and I would say, all right, I just posted like right after I did it. And 5 of you go and you like it and you comment on it. What does that do? That boosts your algorithm, that boosts your engagement, that brings in conversation, that shows it to more people on your feed, and so on. So that's one thing I want to start doing too, not only for that, like the personal gains from that, but also just that community side of it. Because I don't scroll. I don't scroll the feed. If I do, it's because I'm in a negative headspace and I scroll. But so I don't always see posts and stories and things that are going on. So I think that would be one thing personally for me to just be able to help and see more of what you're sharing, what you're doing, and so on. So that's one thing I want to bring into the pods as well, is sharing your tracker and then sharing when you post. So that way, 1, it's accountability, but 2, then we can go and give some of that engagement and give some boosts and things, because that's a big part of it, is asking questions and getting people to engage on your content. But sometimes just having a few friendly faces to start that conversation flowing can help as well. So that's one thing 2 things for sure I want to really work on and focus on in September. So, and then in terms of like team calls, like on the Tuesday nights and things, I tried like 2 months ago, I think, to put like schedule it in what it was going to be in the topic, but I realized that a lot of that is going, like a lot of what I talk about on Tuesdays or just on random recordings and things is going to be what you guys are struggling with, what questions you're asking me. what things I can help you with. Because I feel like that's really where a lot of us are at is I could go over the tracker 100 times, but until you're doing it and you're coming up with questions and hitting roadblocks and needing help overcoming those things, I'm going to leave the Tuesday nights open. And if all of a sudden at noon on Tuesday, I'm like, yep, I got nothing, like there's been no questions, like I'll just do a power hour or talk about something on the tracker or whatever. But in terms of Tuesday nights, we'll just kind of play it by ear, and what all goes that way. So, all right, the calendar. If you've been with me forever, you know I hate graphics. I suck at them. They're not my jam. All day, every day last week and yesterday and today, I had written down on my to-do list in my planner to make a cute September graphic to share. And here's what it looks like. And I did this like 3 weeks ago. So obviously that did not get done, and it probably won't. I'll probably just take a picture of this and share it with you because that's just how I roll. But anyway, so 1st September, pumpkin spice is tomorrow. 8 a.m. Central Time is what I heard. So it might be even earlier than that. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what to expect because I talked with my corporate person today, and last year the first year it sold out in like 7 hours and it was insane. Last year they ordered or had so much more in stock that they were like giving it away for free by the time January rolled around. So this year I'm not really sure what to expect, especially with everything that's going on. But I would still talk to people like it's gonna run out. It's not gonna be here. It's gonna be gone by noon and that kind of thing. If you're in the flash sale, all of that stuff is going up and all that stuff tomorrow. But today I sent out a mass email to my list about pumpkin spice. I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow morning, probably like bright and early before I do my workout quick. I'll just type up something and send it out. And that's what I've been doing for that. And then in terms of the flash sale, I'm just continuing to follow up with those people. And I really just want to get that Success Club monkey off my back right away. So my goal is to hit Success Club by this week for sure. So then I can focus on this and focus on the pods and help you guys and all that good stuff. So pumpkin spices tomorrow. Don't wet the bed on it. If you haven't sent out anything to your customer list or posted about it, do it tonight. As soon as you get done listening to this, do something about it, because when we have these products launches, my volume is always through the roof, and it's always a good week when that happens. Okay, so second thing or other thing. So we just started, this week is week 1 of this new challenge group that we got kicked off. And I know I have a couple people that I'm going to add in there that purchased in end of July, beginning of August, but with the shipping delays and all that stuff, they're kind of like just getting started. So I'm going to add them in there and hope that they can get maybe a little bit more. I've had issues with the BOD groups with people requesting to join, then I let them in and then they don't get in and all this stuff. So my kind of plan moving forward is for new people to put them in a Facebook group for 2 rounds. So like 2 months in a Facebook group, and then shift them to the BOD groups and allow them in the BOD groups no matter what. So for the tracking purposes. For BOD groups, I think for veterans who just can do their crap, BOD groups is good. But I have felt I've lost a lot of my new people in the BOD groups. And so I'm hoping that with this Facebook group, it'll kind of snag them up a little bit better. So and this was even before we started this group at the end of August, but I kind of laid down the next September, October, like the next 4 months, I mapped them out and trying to get into a good routine and a good system. And that's something too I noticed with August is I wasn't hitting my Success Club numbers. So I was just constantly inviting to my next challenge group. It starts on Monday. And like, I didn't really have a good start date, a clear start date. So what I'm kind of hoping is that September we can have a clear start date and go from there. So here's what I got is next week, I'm going to start and open a new coach pod. So I know we kind of did that coaching sneak peek. I'm going to talk about that later this week and kind of what I think we could and should do to kind of fix that a little bit. But on Monday/Tuesday, since Monday's Labor Day/Tuesday, I'm going to start a new coach pod. And instead of doing a new coach mentorship, instead of doing a coach sneak peek, I am just going to start a new coach training pod. And what I'm probably going to do is just add those people into the coaches pod. So those of you that started coaching last month and you didn't hit Success Club or you didn't hit Emerald, we're just going to jump back in that group and get started again, kind of with a training, but in a pod. So that's going to start next week on Monday/Tuesday. And then the 14th, so the second Monday of the month, is going to start prep week for our challenge group. So this group, I actually already have it created on Facebook. I put in like a dates picture and everything on there, named it something different, and so on. So the 14th is going to be prep week for that group. And then week 1 will be on the 21st. So we'll do 3 weeks. So the 21st, the 28th, and then the 5th will be week 3. And then the second Monday, we'll start prep again. So I really want to get back into that, like a group is 4 weeks long, and then it's a new group. And then it's the second Monday of every month is when prep week will happen. And that gives you 2.5 solid weeks to invite to the challenge group. So I put that I'm going to make my last call to join this group on the 17th because I want them to get all of prep. I want them to start with everybody. So that means that if I start promoting that group today, that gives me 17 days to talk about that and to invite to that and to drop polls in my stories and all that good stuff. So to invite to that challenge group with that week 1. Then the week of, and I will take a picture of this and share it with you guys too, but the week of the 21st, so like when we have that first week 1, somewhere in the 23rd, 24th, 25th, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to do kind of a sneak peek into coaching on my IG stories. So I did this in August, and it basically just did like a day in the life. So here's a day in the life of me as a mom, all the things, and a coach, how I fit it in, what I do, and so on. And then I tried to drop little nuggets throughout the rest of the week and the weekend, kind of talking about coaching, giving them the opportunity to talk more about it with me, and so on. So I'm going to do that as kind of a sneak peek during that week. And then that last week of September, we'll do kind of I want to do that group again, but just maybe do a little bit more planning with it. But I want to have a group where you guys as coaches, we can share our stories, have what is coaching, and then your potential people, you can pop them in there and they can watch those clips. And then start a new coach pod on October 5th. So that gives you until like the 1st, like today through the 17th, to talk about the challenge group. And then from the 17th to the 30th or whenever, however you want to roll with it, talk about coaching and invite to that opportunity. One thing I am going to try to do, and I'm going to do this starting Thursday, I'm going to get through pumpkin spice, and then on Thursday, I'm going to reach out to all my discount coaches, all my customers, and I'm going to invite them to the coaching opportunity. Now, I usually send like a mass email about it, but I'm going to individually message all of them and say, hey, I'm going to start a new coach training mentorship pod on Monday. Here's what it's going to look like. We're going to go through the basics of coaching. We're going to practice sharing on your stories, posting on your feed, all the things, with some new programs and some new things coming out. It might be a great, and I'll share with you what I'm going to say, but basically like, I'm just going to talk to them and say, hey, I'm starting a new coach training. I think you would benefit. I think you would love being a coach. I think you would love our team, da, 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 da. And so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to do a lot of inviting behind the scenes to coaching to people that already know, like, and trust me. And then we're going to start that new coach training, that new coach pod, Monday, Tuesday. Same thing once we get down here to like the coach, the day in the life, and the coach sneak peek. I'm going to do a lot of messaging and following up with those people that didn't pull the trigger this week when I talked to them. Okay. So I was talking with another gal and I was asking sneak peeks, like, what are you doing? What's working? And I know a lot of it has so much to do with your energy. But we were talking and she made this comment. She said, like my team, my girls, the people I attract, she's like, they're so busy that they don't have time to sit in a 3-day, 2-day, 1-day sneak peek, watch all these videos, read all this stuff. She's like, I found that I was better off inviting them and then talking back and forth with them about their questions, their concerns, more behind the scenes. She's like, yes, it was more legwork to talk to them one-on-one. But she goes, then you found the people that actually wanted to coach. They already kind of knew about it because they picked your brain about it and so on. And I was like, I'm sold. Like that is, I feel like where I'm at with bringing in people. And I feel like a lot of you might be the same way. Like you have your discount coaches, you have your customers who trust you. They know you already. You bring it up to them. And even if they say no, you plant that seed. Because my coach asked me 3 times and I told her no every single time. She put me in sneak peek groups and I didn't watch any of the videos. It was the fact that she planted that seed 3 times in my head, and then I saw something and that clicked. And so I feel like so many of us are that way, that maybe we have to think about that when we're doing these coaching sneak peeks. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, but I have like a couple sneak peeks marked down just to have something for you to invite to if you need to have that on the docket. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm gonna like pencil it in. Like, so Thursday, I'm like, I know I got to reach out to my list of discount coaches and customers and talk to them about coaching and see if that's something they'd be interested in. Same thing, like I just did a mass follow-up last Thursday talking about the challenge group. This Thursday, I'm going to do coaching and then hopefully talk to people throughout the weekend about it and get them rolling in it if they want. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, ask away. Any questions? But that's what I got. I'm going to set up the pods tomorrow. I will take a picture of this and share it with you. And I kind of tried to highlight, this made sense in my brain when I was mapping this all out, but trying to really break down the month by 2 weeks and 2 weeks. 2 weeks challenge group, 2 weeks coaching, having that hard start date of the 14th is prep, the 8th is the new coach pod, 14th is prep week, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm really thinking in my mind, I've got to have that hard start date and that hard end date in order to honestly, I need that hard start date to give me that motivation to do the crap with the energy that I need. Honestly, that's just how it is. Knowing that yesterday was the 31st, I was like, get your crap together, send out those messages, open your inbox, respond to the people that are interested, and so on. And so I think if we tell ourselves like new coach pod starting on the 7th, all right, get my crap together because I want 1 person in there, 5 people in there, 2 people in there, whatever it might be. So, all right. I hope that this was helpful. If you have questions, let me know. Look for those pod changes tomorrow. And I'll kind of make a graphic with some, just kidding. I probably won't make a graphic, but I'll have some typed words in there on sharing your tracker and when you post and all that good stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching, tuning in. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys soon.